Hey everybody, it's your friend Jason Pound here answering the top questions asked by home buyers in today's real estate market. Question we're tackling today, how do I get an 800 credit score? The short answer to that is simply just be perfect and walk on water. However, as usual, let me over explain. I was recently talking with a buddy about credit scores, and he told me that an interesting story. He has always hovered between 740 and 760, pays off his credit cards every month, doesn't carry a balance. And yet for the longest time, he's been stuck in the 740s to 760s. And so he recently uploaded his credit report and credit card statements to ChatGPT and said, hey, how do I get an 800 credit score? And he followed the advice. And literally in, I think it was 2 months, maybe 3 months, he cracked 800. And it was one little hack that I'm about to share with y'all. However, just so you know, once you pass 760, it really doesn't matter in the credit game. And realize you have different credit scores for different products. If you check your credit for a car loan versus checking your credit for a house loan versus checking your credit for a credit card, each of those is going to generate a different score because the credit reporting agency is calculating the probability that you're going to repay the debt. And the higher the number, the better the probability. And the probabilities change with different products. So realize we're talking about a moving target here. And most credit companies, once you pass 760, you're getting the best rate possible. And these are the common tiers with regards to credit, insurance, things like that. 760, 740, 720, 680, and then anything below 620 is actually a penalty, is a way to think about it with regards to insurance and credit and things like that. However, I want to show you something. For those of you that have responsibly managed your credit and you have 700 plus credit scores, but you'd like to get up into the upper echelons of credit, check this out. This is so cool. I have coached many people to 700 credit scores, but I've never coached anyone to 800. On your credit card statement, there are two dates. There's a due date and there's a statement date, and they're not always the same. And what was happening is my friend was paying off his credit card down to a zero balance on the due date. But between the due date and the statement date, because he was using his card continually for points, it was pushing his balance above 3%. Now, for folks who have weak or bad credit, you typically try to avoid ever going above 10% of your available balance on your credit cards. That once you go above 10%, it can penalize you. However, ChatGPT recommended not going above 3%, and notice during the analysis that between the due date when it hit $0 and the statement date when it would recalculate for what number it would report to the credit bureau, more than 3% of the outstanding balance had been spent. So what he started doing was paying a little bit extra and also try to stop using the card in between. And by the time between the due date and the statement date, his balance was below 3% of his available credit. And boom, that one little hack pushed him over the 800 plus credit score. And I just had to share that with you guys. We all know that credit impacts your mortgage rate. And if that'll help somebody get to an 800, that little trick right there should also help somebody get to a 700 or a 600 or whatever your personal goal is. My name's Jason Pound with Jericho Pound Realty Group. I'm an ex-banker. I know how to consult with people on things outside of just real estate. However, Jericho and I service the entire metro area. If we can ever be of service, don't hesitate to reach out. We're here to serve. In the meantime, peace out. Have a great life.